name is Rosen Ivanov, and I'm the Managing Director for Armstrong International in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. At Armstrong, we have been in thermal utilities, which is steam and condensate system, for more than a century. I have been working for the company for 27 years, but I didn't get involved into the energy transition until about 5 years ago. It's really around 2019 or 2020 that our key accounts started talking about decarbonization and net zero goals. We at Armstrong stepped back and reflected about how to decarbonize thermal system. And we reached the conclusion that leveraging industrial waste heat recovery was the only way to both decarbonize and decrease energy costs, which would then deliver a reasonable payback for companies implementing these solutions. To achieve that, we had to develop a different type of energy studies based on pinch methodology. Furthermore, we have also partnered with a heat pump manufacturer, a company called Combitherm based in Germany, in order to deploy manufacturing and implementation of industrial high temperature heat pumps around the globe at scale. Finally, we had to accept that the most efficient way to implement industrial waste heat recovery involved desteaming, which is the replacement of steam system by hot water systems. We had to overcome the fear to cannibalize our historical business, but we reached the conclusion that this is the right thing to do and it will happen anyway, so we better embrace that trend. Altogether, we have bundled pinch studies, desteaming, direct heat recovery, and low-grade heat recovery using heat pumps into a single design concept that we call circular thermal. The potential of industrial waste heat recovery is huge. We actually believe that it is the silver bullet to decarbonize global energy systems. Indeed, most of the energy in the world is used to heat or cool buildings or industrial processes. Furthermore, 2/3 of that energy is wasted without doing any useful work through systems which are burning fossil fuels today. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have been using one-way thermal system. We put energy in an industrial plant on one side, and that same quantity of energy is escaping the plant, typically as waste heat. If you can apply the circularity and energy efficiency principles, we can reduce at least by half the primary energy which is needed to perform exactly the same useful work. We estimate that globally, industrial waste heat represents about 10,000 terawatt-hours per year. Half of it is above 100 degrees C, and the other half is below 100 degrees C. To recover and reuse the low-grade heat, the world will need to deploy about 1,000 gigawatts of industrial high-temperature heat pumps. That is the equivalent of 1 million heat pumps of 1 megawatt. Heat pumps allow for efficient electrification, which typically requires 3 times less electricity than just direct electrification. And as they typically come with thermal storage systems, they also help compensating the intermittency of renewables and help with managing the grid. At Armstrong, we already have in-house a lot of the technologies needed to implement circular thermal systems. Additional to heat pumps, we have condensing coils, control valves, digital hot water temperature controls, flow meters, and various technologies of humidifiers. However, there are other technologies that are needed to deploy circular thermal systems, such as steam compressors, water treatment, and solid thermal storage, including the movable version of it. Circular thermal systems are complementary also to carbon capture and hydrogen electrolyzers, which emit waste heat and need to be made energy efficient before they are deployed at scale. We also strongly believe in partnership, as no company has both the technical expertise and the size to tackle this challenge alone. Beyond technology, there will be a significant demand for knowledge across the value chain, from energy auditors to project managers to contractors and maintenance services. There is a significant economic opportunity behind the transition based on energy efficiency. The energy transition is the greatest challenge of our generation. Energy systems are actually behind many of the political, economic, and environmental headlines which are in the news every day. Implementing energy efficiency to lower the bar to decarbonization can fix a lot of the world's problems. It is the highest purpose you can find these days, and it is very energizing to work on it. However, you need also to be very much realistic and pragmatic. Thermodynamics and economics are hard to overcome. The only way to succeed is to embrace the market realities and to work with clients, partners, and policymakers to deliver change at scale.